All right. Let's do.
Yep. Number 3.
This one's more. Just curious, what triggered you here? I can read a
I
little
just get
trigger in the words, but go ahead. Yeah.
for sure. Because I hate Elon Musk as a human being,
It's hard to like
but
them.
it sure is.
Yeah.
But I've noticed this, and I kind of attached the Bernie Sanders town hall below just to sort of emphasize the point that I was trying to make.
Oh, I
But
thought that was a
like,
separate one. Okay, go ahead.
no, that's sort of related. It's kind of fucking
Okay.
all the same. But so Elon Musk tweets tax reform is needed, too many loopholes, which just objectively is true,
But
right?
did you
Like
see the original tweet that he retweeted with that tweet? Tax reform is needed, too many loopholes.
no, I didn't.
Okay.
I
So
didn't
keep going.
realize.
So keep going. No worries. No
No,
worries.
I mean, if you want to shed some light on it, that's totally cool.
No, just keep going. Just keep going.
Well, so I pulled this off of some subreddit, I'm just scrolling r all like a fucking loser, and this came across.
Sure.
And like, there's just a very snarky response to what he said here. Um, and again, like, but she only kind of proves his point, right? She's like, Tesla paid $0 in federal income tax last year, and she lists off 2022, 21, 2019,
Yep.
18, just $0 in Tesla taxes. And that's in response to Elon Musk's tweet. But like, aren't you just proving his point? Right? Like,
Yeah, so we're not bad faith
reform's
here.
needed.
Hell no.
Too many
We're
loopholes.
love bugs in the ocean. So if I come at it in the way that you wrote this, from a good faith, like, of course you're right. If you look at things in a vacuum and you couldn't care less who said it, like, there are too many loopholes, tax reform is needed. But when the rubber meets the road, do I care about who is saying it, and do I trust them to implement the concepts you're saying, Chad? No. Elon Musk is a right-wing figure. You're talking about left-wing change. There's no way that Elon Musk is going to try to, like, raise the taxes on himself. So, who cares about even the other tweet that I mentioned? I just don't. Do you trust Elon Musk to close loopholes and raise taxes on himself? I do not.
Well, he's certainly not in charge of the tax code.
No, he shouldn't be. He
Right?
shouldn't be in
Like,
charge of anything. He's doing a lot of bullshit things, so that's true.
Congress is. Congress is going to pass their budget. They're going to pass their taxes, whatever. So, he doesn't really have any control over what
He
taxes
shouldn't
are
have
gonna be
control, but
passed.
we keep seeing the news about him doing things with Doji, and I'm seeing the results. People actually getting fired. Like, dude, just today, it was, like, so sad. I was scrolling Reddit like a loser, just like Nord does. 2 losers in a pod. In the ocean, like
Sure.
locals. But I'm scrolling, and like, there's a bunch of posts from, like, our ranger, but it's, like, rangers of the forest, and, like, a bunch got fired, and they wrote these, like, heart-wrenching, like, oh, I worked there. Like, dude, it was rough. I was like, damn,
Rangers.
bro. Park rangers, yeah. A bunch of them got fired last week, I guess. Yeah. So it just sucks to read it. I'm like, damn, like,
Yeah,
that
I came across
sucks. Yeah.
I came across a science subreddit where people were talking about how a lot of people who were doing sort of research work for the government or under NIH grants just all got completely laid off.
Yeah.
And they got laid off in a way that sort of renders all their research useless. Like, it's not going to be handed over. It's
So
not going to be
dumb.
given to. It just gets fucking basically just thrown on a fire. Yeah, for sure
USAID
it's
with
dumb.
the rotting food because they cut it right away and the food just
I
rotted.
did see that. I did see
It's
that,
like,
yeah.
what was I listening to today? I don't even know. I think it was about the Department of Education where someone, like, wrote a testimonial that was like, you just stopped research that had been, like, 20 years in the making. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Sure.
there's value you
Sure.
threw away just because. Like, you could have chosen to stop everything new,
Y-
but you
there's
just took all
no-
this value and you were just like, yeah, we don't give a fuck. You know, it's like, wow, it's
Correct.
like true
Yeah.
that stuff.
There's zero
Stuff.
due diligence from everything they're doing with Doge. But that being aside, I understand that, like, okay, Elon Musk is a conservative. He's under the Trump admin. He's saying tax reform is needed, too many loopholes. Obviously, that's bad faith because they're not going to do a goddamn thing about it.
Right.
But the sentiment is correct.
Yes.
And
Again,
I sort of bring up the
this is a
Bernie
safe space
Sanders
of
town
good
hall
faith.
with Fox News.
Oh, yeah. Why did you
I
share
don't-
that? I watched that again. So go ahead. Why did you share this thing?
Well, at the 4:48, I put the sort of a time tag in there, but at 4:48, they basically ask him a question along the lines of, "Well, if you're such a believer in higher taxes, why don't you willingly pay more taxes?"
That's
Right,
so
like, he
dumb,
had-
though.
Correct, but
That
to me,
shit is
this
so
is the same
tired and old.
energy.
That's like the same conservative like 80s talking points. That's like, you guys are so dumb. We haven't
But it's the same
graduated from
energy.
this. It's like Bernie is literally worth like, let's say like 4 million. We don't
Well, he had
like
just
find me no, communists don't exist. Find me a leftist in the country that's like, yeah, we don't believe anybody should even have 4 million. That's insane. Like, some wealth is fine. Nobody says wealth is bad. This is the shit that, you know, and I'm triggered. You see? Go ahead. Just go ahead.
Well, I completely agree with you. That's why I included it in this this fucking topic, because to me it's the same energy. But I agree, right? Like, I guess he had just sold a book, I guess in 2020 when he was running, or 2019 even, and he had made some money.
Sure.
And they were like, "Oh, your net worth is like $3 million. Shouldn't you be paying?" Wait, like, it was just such a bad faith question, because
I do think that like the seasoned vet that Bernie is, he kind of hit that. He hit the answer flat-footed. I was like, Bernie. He like hesitated a bit, and I was like,
he did
Bernie,
hesitate a little.
come on, baby, you know what to say. You know what to say.
He did get taken a little off guard.
That's
with
all right.
that
He's still
question,
our boy.
yeah.
He's still our boy.
Which sucks too, because like there's the fucking, it's just, there's so much stupidity in that question. Because like, okay, Bernie Sanders,
it's bad faith dressed up in the most like friendly way
so
possible, homie. Oh yeah.
Which, by the way, he does phenomenal in the rest of this town hall. Like, he killed it in this town hall. But yeah, he did kind of.
I remember that when I started watching it again today. I was like, oh yeah, he's in front of a steel plant in like Bethlehem, PA, or something like that.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember that. No, he does a great job. Just people don't care, bro. People don't care. Everything. We're in the vibes era. And
True.
me and you have agreed many times that Biden won in 20 because COVID really made Trump show his ass. But
sure.
if it's just vibes, even 2020 Biden, I'm not going to say he would lose because, like, how disrespectful. The man actually beat Trump in a pretty historic way. But it would be so tough if it was just vibes.
It'd be much
you know
closer.
What I'm saying? Oh,
yeah. If it wasn't for COVID, I'm of the opinion that Joe probably loses that election.
We're not gonna go there. I'm not gonna go there. Listen. We're pro freedom here, so you can go wherever you want. But it's I hate the rights like alpha mentality. So I'm like, nope, Joe won. You eat on that. You fucking taste on that forever. That's true.
Sure.
But go ahead. Yeah, what are you gonna say?
I mean, and this is probably a topic for the future, but I don't know who does damage more, a Trump with a second term, or if like him having, Biden win and then him come back for his second term is worse. And I'm starting to think it's that second one, which is unfortunate, because that's the situation we find ourselves in. But I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, regardless of that. Yeah.
When you're in, I was kind of bringing it up to say that when you're in a vibes era, like, nothing will change once again until things are bad. Until then, I anything I read, everything I go through, I just act like it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I've literally read in the last couple weeks people getting laid off. And while getting laid off, like, obviously you can find the ones of people upset. But I've even found people who voted for Trump that got laid off, and they're like, that's fine. I get it. I'm just going to go find a job. It's like, oh, my God. Like, you? It's like, all right. Like, that's, I mean, at least.
Ultimate cuckage. That's brutal.
Ultimate cuckage, but also, like, a little staying true there. A little, like, respect to staying true. But the respect to staying true is like 2 sprinkles inside of a mountain of like, you're a cuck. So you gotta,
you're an honorable cuck.
Crazy shit, man. So
it is pretty wild. I don't know if I've seen any of that, but that's crazy. I believe it. Yeah, but I do think things are going to get bad, though. I think in the next 12 to 18 months.
So let's end on that. What does that look like? What do you think will be the snapshot of like things looking bad? Because I kind of have one for sure.
Oh, sure. It's just cost of living shooting up another 30 to 50%.
That's part of it.
That's enough, I think,
for
the American voter.
It's going to be worse than when it was just prices shot up under the Biden reign. Even if they don't shoot up to as high as like 9%, like it was for like whatever, a month or whatever. when you have mass layoffs and like a dump of a workforce and people trying to find jobs and that gets slim, and you have rising prices, it's going to be 2 times worse.
Yeah. And you're pulling the reins back on social safety nets. Just multiply that even more.
So there's going to be real feel people being mad, which was the same thing when inflation was crazy under Biden. Like, we get it.
Right.
It's just the question's going to be, is it enough to tip the vibes at the top? Because, like, dude, the stock market is so dumb right now. Crypto's dumb. Like, there's a lot of overinflated value in things. And just because the regular common man loses their job or this or that happens, as you've seen under Biden with inflation, does not mean that, like, the bad times are hitting people that are wealthy. So,
yeah.
I mean, the shitty thing is, like, there's a lot of MAGA voters out there that, again, vote against their own interests because it's just like, oh, the vibes train might keep moving if the have-nots feel it, but the haves don't, and, like, the stock market stays inflated, you know? I don't know. We know jobs will be lost or are already being lost. We know that inflation, especially if tariffs do get implemented, even if they don't, the uncertainty, like, inflation's going to get a little more worse, I think, even from now, a little more worse at least.
I'm pretty sure they're going to be.
And so we'll just have to see, like, what.
I think Trump's ego is too big to let him let go of the tariff issue, even though people are going to be around him telling him this is a really bad idea.
It doesn't even, I think you're right, and it doesn't even matter if he ever implements them, though, because the uncertainty around it. Like, you've seen, like, these pictures of stores in Canada that still have, like, oh, we left up the Buy Canadian even after they paused the tariffs because fuck them, because they already pissed us off. Like, there's going to be still some feel from those decisions even not being implemented, but being, like, bandied about like it's fucking, you know, the fish market on a Wednesday afternoon. Which is how his view of economics is, but yeah.
I do think USAID is a big concession of soft power around the world. I think that's going to be something.
Yeah, look.
And it's just funny to me that they didn't cut off aid from Israel, but like everybody else gets the axe.
They didn't? Of course they didn't, dude. Of course they didn't.
That's so funny to me.
Yeah, negotiating with Russia without Europe at the table. Zelensky was like, fuck you. Which good.
Without Ukraine at the table, dude. Like, what are you doing?
That's pure blatant, like, it's so awful, man. It's so awful. So,
yeah, it's really embarrassing. Yeah.
We'll just, it sucks.
Sorry.
Because, like, when, I don't even want to say when, because who knows? He made it through 4 years and the economy still made it through. Like, if the economy gets bad, like, it sucks because that's the only time you'll get woken up from this, like, vibes era. But real people will get, like, dude, like, everyone's going to feel something. Like, you'll know someone who got laid off or this or that. Or, oh, my small business friend, you know, no more work. It's like, yeah.
Or people getting booted off of Medicare. People stop getting... We'll see how that actually manifests. I don't know that they actually have the
Medicaid for
stones.
Sure. Medicare and Social Security, we'll see. They're gonna try.
You think they'll actually take an axe to Medicaid? Snap?
Oh, they're gonna try to. I think Republicans already released like their little thingy, and it cut like fucking billions from Snap. Yeah, Snap.
Snap and Medicaid, I think. Yeah.
And it's.
Yeah, we'll see. I do think it will get bad for a lot of people, and I think the thing that just frustrates me the most is that the Democrats need to take advantage of this moment, and I just don't trust them.
But what does that even mean, bro? What does that even mean? Like,
that means putting people into power that aren't fucking 93 years old, right? Like,
sure, I agree with that. Sure. The whole AOC thing over some committee, like, that was dumb. She should have
over a bunch of committees. Just fucking ancient person after ancient person. They haven't changed their messaging. They still lean more on cultural issues to win their fucking elections than, like, actually doing something for working people. Like, listen, again, we can talk about, Biden did some great things all day
He sure
long.
did. He sure did.
But what tangible effect did he have in the average American worker's day to day? Very little to
Dude,
none,
some farmer the other week
except
said because
for
of the
inflation.
Inflation Reduction Act funding freeze, he might lose his farm. So the Inflation Reduction Act was going to give him money for like upgrades. And so,
Right, but that's
so
not
it's
the
anecdotal.
average.
No,
I
know. I'm being
agree.
a complete cock to you, but I wanted to do it. So, anyways, yeah.
It's why they lost in 24 to like the most beatable
But
presidential candidate ever.
it's because
And you
it's
don't
because
have
it's
any
not about
moment of
what you
self-reflection.
because
There's
it's
no change of leadership.
because it's not. No, I agree. Because it's not about what you even do though. Like Biden could have fucking done absolutely nothing, and then they still would have almost had the same amount of votes. Kamala would.
I disagree.
In the same. No,
Biden could have flexed his muscle more. He for sure could have.
Doing what? Doing what, dude?
He used some odd quirk of executive power to try and forgive student loan debt when he just directly could have gone through the Department of Education to forgive student loan debt.
Okay, if that's true, then he shouldn't have done that. Shouldn't have done it.
But because
that's fair.
Because they have hangups. The Democratic Party is beholden to a lot of big corporate money. I mean, we just have to be honest about that fact.
Sure.
So until they can get out from under that and actually primarily represent their constituents, I just don't see how, like, they're basically Republican light. That is the game that they're playing. They're like, well, those guys are crazy. But if, like, we're sort of moderate, you can vote for us.
That's fine. You're
appealing to the wrong crowd.
That's fine. I don't even disagree with you. We could debate some points, whatever. I just whenever we talk about this, why don't we vote better then? I'm always voting like whatever, dude.
Sure, I agree.
Where I live, Kathy Hochul dude sucks, bro. Dude, generally I'm left of Democrats. Hello? But I don't think the same way necessarily as you do because like people just gotta vote better, man. Like you could easily unwind it by voting. Like it's not like we live in Russia and all right, go ahead.
I agree, but we also need to people need to be given something to vote for, right? Like Bernie was the biggest amount of enthusiasm the Democratic
and also
side of things has had in fucking ages.
And also,
but Obama, I'm sorry, 08 was pretty fucking exciting for Democrats, but he ended up being run of the mill anyway.
I also look, and I don't get me wrong, I don't excuse. Like politicians are still scummy for the most part because they don't. Like in a vacuum, in an ethical vacuum, your idea of a representative truly pulls their people, and yes, brings their own ideas to the table, and at the end of the day, that'll have the most because they are them and they're the representative. But like they're listening and they're changing, they're deputy. They don't do any of that shit. So this is where I'm kind of agreeing with you. Like I get that side of it. It's like, dude, they're scum. They're scum. They need to be way better. It seems to be that when people are younger, they do see a bigger picture. A little better. That's more representative. Nobody's perfect. But holy shit, these old people stink. It's wild to me that everybody thought Biden was on strings and Bernie's 2 years older than him. Let that sink in. Donald Trump's about to be 80. Is he already 80? I think he is. Wild to me that everybody thought Biden was on strings and he's like the same fucking age as Trump. Yes, bro. Yes.
No, he's 78, bro.
The man's 78. Is he? Whatever, dude. He's old as shit. 1 year.
He is old as fuck.
I don't give a goddamn. He's old.
Like, 1.5 years. Yeah, sure.
It's down is up, left is right. Nothing makes sense until the economy crashes.
I think.
And I almost feel like there was some sort of poem that can come out of that. I'm gonna write that down and I'll write some poem for you.
Dr. Seuss, left is right, up is down.
Whatever.
Yeah, I do think nothing changes in this country until millennials fully exert their voting power. And until people fucking show up in your primaries, people, please, for the love of God.
Do, baby.
It is literally, to me, more important than the actual fucking election. Show up in your primaries. God bless.
Sure do. And always remember, the right way to be is to be socially liberal, economically communist.
Okay. Okay. And always remember, be good, do good, God bless. Go
Go
Bills.
But did he have to put the God in there? Josh. Oh.
Whoa, you put a Go Bills in there.
No,
I'm buying whatever you're selling. I'm buying whatever you're selling.
That was a no problem. Like it was. I didn't even watch the speech, but
yeah,
I remember who
it was pretty
mentioned it
good.
to me. But that was
Pretty good.
That's a not in your face rap. Like, dude, some of these athletes are just like.
He did open
First
up
and
with.
foremost, I just want to say that every time I move a muscle, God has pulled that muscle, and praise Him. And because I just want to tell you that if I didn't have the Lord, if I didn't have the Lord, I wouldn't be here. You know, it's so fucking annoying, man.
I will say, as great as that impression was, Josh Allen did open his speech giving first and foremost glory to God. He did do that.
Which, listen.
Well, there you go. I don't have a problem with it. You clearly do.
The words
you're
I do. First of all, that's true. Second of all, I do. There is a discussion over like the words. Is it semantics of the words? I'm an idiot. So
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, you're right.
But there is
That's correct.
Like if an athlete's like, "Hey, glory to God," like I'm just blessed and like thankful. You keep it in that realm, it's fine. It's when they're just like, I could not do this. There is no way that this could have been accomplished. No universe that this mountain could have been climbed without the Almighty. And I'm just like, okay. Sometimes it's a little extra.
I agree under the idea that, like, yo, you're allowed to give yourself some credit, dog. I do agree with that.
That's my thing. That's always my thing. Because every time
I
something's
hear ya.
happening on the TV, my 3 spouses, they know how I feel about this stuff. So they all look at me. And they're like, you know, like, oh, what do you think? And I'm always just like, look, like, because they always think I'm going to be like, oh, you know, fuck them. Like, fuck God. No, dude. We truly believe this is a safe space of freedom and happiness. Whatever makes you happy, even if you disagree with me, like, I don't give a fuck. Like, that's fine. Like, you do you.
Do you, baby. Absolutely.
Why can't we sprinkle a little bit of, like, but I worked my ass off too, let's go, baby? You feel me? You know, it just doesn't feel like that's there. They're allowed.
Well, because
I
worked my ass off.
You know, anyways. Yeah.
In the name of the Lord. Come on now.
I'll tell you what. I pray. I can't remember what this was. A few years ago, I prayed every night for, like, weeks, hoping the Lord would just wake me up at 4:30 a.m. Let me tell you, not one time did it happen. So I was just like, this is not going to work. Everybody tells me I just got to pray, and this shit just snaps and it happens. It doesn't. So I tried it. Maybe I'll try it again.
Wow.
Maybe you could tell me how it works for you. But
I've been praying every night since 9/11 for God to undo 9/11. So clearly, I'm not being listened to either.
I think that these things don't work, you know?
That's the only evidence I need.
I guess I've never tried to think about how I could enhance the prayer. There's no, like, side of a TV that you can slap. I still have an antenna on my TV, so sometimes ABC is a little wonky, and you have to, like, you know, the antennas.
Give it a little crack.
There you go.
Yeah. And thank the Lord when it comes into focus.
Sure.
Wow, what a sign-off. This is
one of my favorites is when I turn to one of my 3 spouses, and I'm like,
God bless them.
Because obviously there's a conversation that precedes them. First of all, God bless them is so true. There's obviously a conversation that precedes this, but one of my favorites is always when I'm just like, and I just wish God would strike me down right here, right now. All right, that's enough.